Is on a Dr. Seuss book. Yeah. That is the kind of people that are trying to educate our children. And it is these same kinds of people that open up group homes or open up and get themselves a foster kid or two. Okay, so it is up to us. If you guys have the free time, you can volunteer with organizations like Free Arts for Abused Kids of Arizona. Okay, I've done it plenty of times, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, you cannot buy the happiness and the satisfaction that you get when you see these kids' faces light up and when you encourage them, when they see, hey, I did some artwork that brought a smile to their face, they think it's really good. Oh my gosh, maybe I do have talent, maybe I can do something, and then the next time they see you, their eyes are a little bit brighter. Next time they see you, their hopes are just a little bit higher. Okay? And they need you guys. The kids need you. I've been out there. I've seen it. And if you can, then please help. Foster care, group homes, or if you want, you can volunteer for Free Arts for Abused Kids of Arizona. They are but one charity where they basically allow traumatized and abused kids in the foster care system and the group home system to do art for free so that they can heal. Is that something that everybody can get behind? Yeah! All right. So with all that said, we're going to change the topic. And we're going to give it up for a real patriot here in Arizona. He's actually running for governor in 2022. He's hopefully going to keep Ducey out, in 2022. But hopefully we can get a recall before then, right? I think I'd like a recall before then. I don't know about you guys. You guys want a recall before then? Yeah, me too. But let me tell you something. This man is an operating nurse. He is an intelligent man. He's a very eloquent speaker. And he's a real patriot, you guys. I think he's going to talk about masks, right? And a couple of other things. So I want you guys to give it up for Bryan!
Bryan Masche.
As Andrew said there, my name is Bryan Masche. I am running for governor of Arizona. Oh, I was just talking to Andrew. I'm sorry, Jake. I meant to say Jake, excuse me. I am running in 2022. At the end of first quarter next year, I will be pulling the paperwork officially with Secretary of State Katie Hobbs. And get that filed, and we'll get started on the campaign trail. There is a Facebook page already that you can go to. It is Bryan Masche for Governor of Arizona 2022. There's also a Parler page, the Patriot Nurse Bryan Masche. So you can add me there, as well as on Twitter. There is Bryan Masche for Governor of Arizona 2022. So a couple things that I want to talk about today. One of them is masks. All right, I am an operating room nurse. Been a nurse for 5 years. Previous to that, I worked in the pharmaceutical industry as a salesman for years. I also worked in the medical device industry. I am a veteran of the United States Air Force. I spent 8 years in the Air Force as a military policeman. So I do have a pretty diverse background, and I think something that's actually pretty applicable to what's going on in our country right now. Obviously, the masks are very controversial, whether they work, they don't work.
Thank you for everything.
This still seems like it's up for debate. Well, up until about 3 days ago, I want to talk to you guys about a study that recently came out. And this study is a Danish study. So yeah, it is good. You're right. Absolutely. So here we go. So this study, let me give you a little bit of a background on how medical studies work, okay? So the absolute best medical study that you could have is what's called a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial, okay? What that means is when they say blinding is you give somebody a placebo or a fake pill that doesn't have anything in it, and you give somebody a real pill. And the person, if it's double-blinded, they don't know if they got the fake pill or if they got the real pill, okay? That way you can control for any sort of variables that take place. That's the highest level of evidence that you can have, all right, when it comes to evaluating research. So this wasn't randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled, but it was a randomized controlled trial. So it's still a very, very strong trial, powered very well. And what this trial looked at was it looked at rates of infection with COVID-19, okay? So there were 3,000 people in this trial, and basically they were broken up into two cohorts, cohort A and cohort B, group A and group B. Group A wore masks, Group B did not wear masks, okay? Anytime that people were outside of their house for more than 3 hours in Group A, they were to have their mask on. If they were outside for more than 8 hours, they were encouraged to change their mask out. What the results from the trial actually found was that the rates of getting the virus between Group A and Group B were not statistically significant. So if there's any math nerds or any science nerds out there, they know what statistical significance means, all right? That's right. And so basically what it showed was that 1.8% of the people that wore masks, so like 43 of the people that wore masks, actually got coronavirus, okay? When it looked at the other cohort, okay, cohort B, they found that only 53 people in that group who didn't wear masks actually got the virus. So it was a difference of like 0.3 percentage points. And when you're looking at statistics and you're looking at data, that basically shows that it's not statistically significant, all right? The next big thing to understand when it comes to this type of research is what confidence interval means, okay? So in the world of statistics, when you're looking at research, confidence interval, you can think of like the number 100, okay? And when researchers set up tests, they try to study the confidence interval, meaning how many times, if I repeated this test under the exact same conditions, would I get the exact same results over and over and over again. So in the medical world, if your confidence interval in your research is above 90 or 91%, that's considered really well. Like 90 or 91 times out of 100, you would get the exact same results, okay? Well, what this study found was that it wasn't 90 or 91%, but it was 95% for a confidence interval. If they did this test over and over and over again, 100 times, 95 out of that 100 times, they would get the exact same result. So the question is, why are we still doing this?
Right.
Why are we still wearing masks? We have data, real data. Over 3,000 people were involved in this trial. Of the people that did wind up getting coronavirus, they don't even know whether or not other people that they were affecting, whether or not they weren't transmitting the virus because they were masked. So it's like, all right, what are we doing now? We don't know whether or not these people are not transmitting it because the mask is holding it in or letting it out. So we literally have no idea. When it comes to a surgical mask, useless. When it comes to a neck gaiter, useless. Like there's no need for it because the virus, the micron size of the virus is so small, it just passes right through these masks, okay? Even an N95 mask, it passes right through. The only type of mask that would actually work is a respirator mask. So if you know, like when guys paint cars or artists paint big murals and they have actual enclosed real respirators, that's the only thing that's gonna keep that virus from coming in. Now, if you have the virus, it'll keep it from going out. So, you know, what are we looking at? Should we have masks on people that actually have the virus? Well, no, they should be home. They should be quarantined. And quarantine is something that specifically for years and years and years in our history was always used for the sick people, not for the healthy. And this virus has a 99% survivability rate. So why do we continue to do this? Why do we continue to have a mask mandate?
Media!
Brainwash in the media, absolutely. So what I want you guys to understand is every single time that you have a friend who posts a selfie on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and they have a mask on,
Shame them!
they are well, this is what I was gonna get at. They're basically, you know, participating in propaganda, okay? They are participating in the perpetual propaganda of keeping this going, okay? So for instance, last night, we had the protest down at the Board of Supervisors building. One of the patriots that's here right now, he actually tried to go inside to the Fry's that's downtown, and he didn't have a mask on. He's a 100% disabled United States Marine Corps veteran, okay? He was literally carrying the Back the Blue flag when he was going into the Fry's, okay? Did his shopping, came to the checkout counter to check out when he was done, and then the clerk that was checking him out gave him a hard time about a mask. He's already done. He's already been through the whole store. He's already got his goods. Just let them in, pay, and leave. Then she called in the manager. And then the manager gave him a hard time. And he still said, it's not necessary. Can I just pay and leave? Then they went and got the police, okay? And here we are, you know, this is the group of people that supports the police, all right? BLM, Antifa, we know what they do. We know that they're against the police, all right? We know the liberal left is against the police. They're trying to defund the police. Here we are, the conservative people on the right side, and we support the police, okay? But what this officer chose to do was he literally got up in this other patriot's face, started giving him a hard time about not, absolutely, the Facebook video is out there, I put it on Twitter as well, gave him a hard time about it, and he actually put his hands on that person. This is a 100% disabled United States Marine Corps veteran who said, I've been told that I do not have to wear a mask by my doctor. That officer put his hands on him, all right? So he came back to the group where we were at, meeting at the Board of Supervisors building. He told us what happened, and what did we do, right? What did we say? Where we go one, what happens?
We go on! We go on!
Right, so they came after one of us, and then what did we do? We all decided to go to Fry's, that's right. So what we did was about 40 of us, with all of our flags and our loud voices, decided, okay, Downtown Fry's, this is how you want to roll? This is what you want to do? Well, you got one of us before, now you're going to get 40 of us. So we literally had our microphones, had our megaphones, put on Twisted Sister. We're not going to take it anymore, right? And literally went through the entire Fry's blasting that song while people looked at us as if we were aliens. You know, like, oh my God, what's wrong with these people, right? Totally safe. Didn't hurt anybody, all right, whatsoever. The video is actually kind of comical and inspiring, actually, when you see it. Because we're basically telling people, enough is enough is enough, all right? We've had enough. Why are we locking down the country again if the lockdown didn't work the first time? Does that make any sense? Have we completely suspended logic and reason? Right? We've canceled logic. The cancel culture has said, reason, logic, you're done. We're not dealing with you anymore. It literally makes no sense. Not only that, but to the point of like, okay, if you want to have your mask on, don't necessarily give people a hard time face to face. Leave them alone, you know? Like if they want to wear a mask, let them wear a mask. But if your friends are putting on social media masks, all right, there's selfies with masks on, the next time you see them or you talk to them, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Because you're literally participating in propaganda. Somebody mentioned Operation Mockingbird earlier. If you don't know, if you're out here in this crowd right now and you don't know what Operation Mockingbird is, you need to look it up. You need to go to YouTube, you need to literally type in Operation Mockingbird, and you need to look at and see how the Central Intelligence Agency has literally been controlling the media for the last 50 years. And this is not a conspiracy theory, this is real. It's 100% real. And speaking to the CIA, you know, here's the segue into what's next. I don't know how many people know this, all right? But take your phones out right now. I told people this last week. Take your phones out, all right? And I want to show you something. I want you to go to Google right now. Get your phone out. I see you, Wildcat. I see you grabbed your phone. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right? Here we go. Go to Google.
She's voting for you, Bryan.
I know she is. Thank you. I appreciate it. Go to Google. I want you to type in Dr. Michael Crow. All right? Dr. Crow is the ASU provost. He's the president of Arizona State University. So you type in his name and his Wikipedia entry pops up, okay? You go to the first paragraph, go to the last sentence of the first paragraph, okay? Who's there? If you're there, raise your hand. Raise your hand. Who's there? Wildcat, you're not there yet?
No, sorry.
Who's there? Brittany, are you there? You're there? Okay. Brittany, what does it say at the end of the first sentence, or the last sentence of the first paragraph?
Arizona University.
Who knows what venture capital is? What does venture capital do? Venture capital is when businesses give money to other businesses to create new products and services and new technologies. Dr. Michael Crow doesn't sit on the board of directors. Dr. Michael Crow is the chairman of the board of the venture capital arm of the Central Intelligence Agency, InQtel. This is the company that the CIA literally has contracted with to go out and create new technology, all right? Here's what's going on. Why does Arizona still have mask mandates all over the place, okay? Why is that?
Juicy!
Because here's why. Because at ASU, right now, they are developing technology that can read your face from here to here. Bioretinal scanners, AI, all sorts of stuff that's in development right here. Here's the next connection to it. We've been under the Stafford Act, the emergency declaration here in Arizona. Our legislature has been suspended since May when they chose to sine die, all right? And all this money, all this COVID money has been flowing into Arizona. Governor Ducey has been taking that money, and every couple of weeks you see a press release. And what does it say? Governor Ducey sent another $2 million to Arizona State University. Governor Ducey sent another $4 million to the U of A or to ASU. So they are literally taking that money that's supposed to be for COVID, and instead they're using it and sending it to the universities to literally develop these new technologies that literally can scan your face while you have a mask on. Because other states across the country that do not have the same numbers as us with regards to COVID, they have worse numbers than us. They've already dropped their mask mandate. It's not even there anymore. So there are other states, like in Florida, for example, Governor DeSantis said, we're done with
Yeah!
COVID. We're done with COVID. It's over. No more emergency declaration. No more executive orders. We're finished. So the reason why I bring up Doug Ducey and why I bring up Dr. Crow is because of the deep state, all right? I want you guys to understand, here in Arizona, there is a real swamp. There is a real swamp with people who are connected to very evil and very powerful people. The number one most powerful person who's the most evil in this state right now is Michael Crow. And I say that as a proud Sun Devil. And I am disappointed in what has happened to this state, to Michael Crow and to Doug Ducey and to the rest of them. So something that I decided recently that we're gonna do as this movement, that's not it. Sorry, I lost my notes for that. But we're gonna start a project here within Arizona. Do you remember at the beginning of the second Iraq War? Do you remember after the regime fell, all right? They had, thank you, brother. Whoever it was that said that, thank you.
Playing cards.
So at the beginning of the second Gulf War, when the regime fell, they came up with a deck of 52 playing cards. And they literally named the 52 most powerful people within the Ba'ath Party, from Saddam Hussein and everyone else down. So what we're gonna do here in Arizona is we are going to create the Arizona House of Cards, the Arizona Project 52, where we go after the 52 most evil and corrupt people in the state of Arizona. I don't care if it's Michael Crow or Doug Ducey or Karen Fan or Mark Bernovich or whoever it is.
Yeah!
We have a website that's being built. We're going to have multiple pages on social media everywhere, and we are going to expose every single one of these people.
Yeah!
I don't care if they're a legislator. I don't care if they're a judge. I don't care if they're the CEO of a company. If you're one of the most evil 52 bastards in the state of Arizona, your days are numbered. We are going to use whatever legal means safely and non-violently to make sure that we end the careers of these people.
Yeah!
This is going to be an exercise in Humnit. For those that were in the military, they understand Humnit is human intelligence. This literally means all of us connecting one by one to each other and sharing information. If you're standing next to somebody right now and you don't know their name, turn right now next to the person next to you and introduce yourself right now. Tell them your name. Tell them where you live. What part of the valley do you live in? All right? Then turn to other people around you right now and start exchanging information. Check each other's freaking phone numbers. What is wrong with us? The left is so freaking organized, and we're literally running around trying to herd cats. We need each other's phone numbers. We need to know where each other lives. We need to know who's in what part of the valley and where. And then when we roll this website out and we roll these pages out on social media for the Arizona House of Cards, for the 52 most evil bastards in the state, we are literally going to exchange info with each other, and we're going to go, oh, I happen to know Jack Sellers, or oh, I happen to know Steve Shukri. So anybody that's followed me, they know that I dumped a bunch of stuff on Steve Shukri this week on Twitter. And I dumped a bunch of stuff on them, and it wasn't because I found it. It was because I'm connected to people in this movement. And the people in the movement were like, Bryan, you gotta have this, dude. Like, you have an audience, and you need to share this with people. So what did I do? Like, we had known, I met someone last night, I don't even know if she's here, Sabrina, if she's here, she said she was coming. So she had the Kelly Dixon email for like 5 days before I ever got it. Yeah, I have it. Nobody else had, not a lot of other people had it.
Tell us about it.
So I dropped the Kelly Dixon email in front of the Board of Supervisors on Tuesday of last week. We had already had it for 5 days. What if we had shared that and spread that out amongst all of us, and instead of 2 days before, or 3 days before the Board of Supervisors were shutting down, we had a whole week. We could have made a lot bigger difference than we had.
Explain the email.
So the email, so Kelly Dixon, all right, is the Assistant Director of Recruitment and Training for the Maricopa County Elections Board, all right? This woman literally sent out an email that she told to cascade down to all the other precincts, basically telling people from 10/23 to 11/2, make sure that you are issuing everyone ballpoint pens. Then on 11/3, make sure that you issue everyone Sharpies. Why did they do that? Why did they do that? They did that because Trump told all of us patriots, vote in person on election day.
Yeah.
So here's someone that literally was already working within the county election system that said, oh, this is a good idea. Let's do this. And let's spread it amongst everybody else. For the 10 days before that, let's make sure that they get ballpoint pens, because the Democrats are going to show up and vote in person with ballpoint pens, or they're going to mail in their ballot. But the president told his supporters show up the day of the election. I'm not saying that every single Sharpie that was used to fill out a ballot was wrong, and every single one of them was kicked out. But literally right now, the president is only trailing Joe Biden by 10,000 votes in this state. Right?
My vote didn't count.
All right. I love that so many of you know some of this stuff and more already. So here's the thing, guys. What if we hadn't had that? We had patriots that literally went to the polling places to hand out ballpoint pens, knowing this was coming, and they literally got pens snatched out of people's hands and were forced to use Sharpies. Why? Why do we tolerate this? Why do we put up with this? Because we haven't been organized. We have not been organized. That is what the Arizona House of Cards, Project 52, is going to do. One mission, to literally remove the 52 most corrupt people in Arizona. They are going to be put on notice. We are literally, it's going to be public, and it's going to be out there in front of everyone. And if your name is on that list, people are going to start asking, oh shit, how did I wind up on that list? What did I do? Where did I go wrong that now these people know this about me and I'm on this list? And we are going
This is
to
MAAP Real
literally,
Talk Show.
at
I hope
every
I could
single
upload
event,
this.
every
It's
rally,
24 minutes.
everywhere we go,
MAAP
when we
Real
go
Talk
to,
Show,
like,
George Nemeh.
the other night it was the Fountain Hills Republican Party Club. And Shukri
With
was
Bryan
there.
Masche.
There to go, hey Steve, how